Another wonderful, amazing, beautiful day living in the Philippines. Morning everyone, or good afternoon depending on where you are. My name's Corey, my wife's name is Raquel, in case you're new to the channel. I wanted to talk about living in the province in the Philippines compared to the city. I've actually had quite a few subscribers ask me why we prefer living in the province and if I'm really happy with it compared to living in the city, because they're kind of looking at both and not really knowing. And they asked me the differences. So I thought I would talk about that. So just to give you a little bit of my background in case you're curious how I have this opinion or how I came up with it. I moved out to the Philippines from Chicago with my wife. She's originally born and raised in the Philippines, in the province. I lived in the Philippines for a year back in 2001 and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Then I was working and living in Boston, and then because of work, I was working and living in Chicago. I did not like either one because I was originally born and raised over in Maine, in New England area. And for me, I guess it's obvious to me why I would like the province life compared to the city, but I guess if you haven't been to the Philippines, then, you know, that's a little different, right? I mean, everyone's from a different location and has a different background, so it may be obvious to me, but if you haven't been over here, then yeah, I guess it would make sense why people would wonder. But for me, like I said, being born and raised over in New England area, it's very peaceful and it's quiet, and I love that lifestyle. I really didn't enjoy the chaos of Chicago or Boston, or the prices for that matter, or just simply waiting in line to purchase anything and it end up being overpriced because you're in the city. And I really did not enjoy the people. The attitude everywhere you go is hostile, and I hate to say that, but out in the Philippines province, that is not the case. I mean, one, I have to go out of my way. I gotta go out of my way to find and look for people, but the fact is, when I do find them, it's just gorgeous and beautiful everywhere. I mean, you can see mountains all around over there, and it's breathtaking. And ocean view along this side of the island, which is the east side where I live on. We have a couple little islands out there, like Bohol, for example, which I wouldn't call small island. Sikihor, I'm looking over at Apo Island. You know, we have the Bias Sandbar. I mean, it's a beautiful area, and behind me is always mountains. So for me, I would not want to live in the city. There is no way. When I go to the city, I'm stuck in traffic. People are rude, and every time I buy something, it's ×5 on the price. Food, rental, hotel, it doesn't matter. The price just goes through the roof, and I'm waiting in line for it. So I hands down prefer to be out in the province where it's very simple and laid back and everyone is super friendly and kind and nice. Now, does the city have perks out here? Well, yeah, of course it does. I mean, if you like the city, these cities are going to have a lot of perks that the province just doesn't have. I mean, for example, a good movie will come out and me and my wife are like, well, we don't have a movie theater for an hour and a half in either direction. So then we plan a trip to the city. You know, we'll have an anniversary or birthday come up and we'll want to go to a Japanese steakhouse, or, you know, have a good Italian meal or something like that, which requires us to go to the city, because you're not getting those things in the province. I mean, I found one pizza place that has cheese on it, and I don't know. Let's just say I wouldn't travel there to get the pizza. But the people and the overall experience and how laid back it is, living there 7 days a week is absolutely wonderful, and I love it. It reminds me of Maine, except it is warmer, it is cheaper, the people are even more friendly, it's quiet, there's no traffic. That's why I really love it. And again, where I live in this province, it's gorgeous mountains to one side of me on the island, and then on the other side is just ocean, which I can always walk to. So I can look out my bedroom and see either one, and it's very cheap. I move over to the city, I'm going to pay 10 times the price for that same thing, but I'm not going to have the mountain view unless I found a different city. And then I'm going to go places, pay a lot of money for things, wait in line to get things, sit in traffic, and want to go home. So I mean, we go to the city often. Well, when I say often, I mean less than once a month, but we'll have to make larger purchases or bulk orders of things, or like I said, we'll have a anniversary coming up or a birthday party, and yeah, we'll go to the city and we'll make the best of it. And we enjoy those times because we'll go there for between 2 days and 5 days, maybe probably 4, more realistic, and we'll stay at a little resort and we'll enjoy it, and we'll spend in between $60 and $100 a night, compared to the province where it'd be in between $10 and $30 a night, and we'll enjoy our meals. But again, the meals will cost us in between $10 a piece to $30 a piece, depending on where you go. And in the province, it'll be 50 cents to $3. So I mean, it's a big difference. But of course, you're not getting the same meals, and just want to be transparent with everyone. I'm not ordering like I said, sushi out in the province, or Italian meals, or anything, even a good barbecue or a steakhouse meal that you would get in the US. But for me, we're both very healthy eaters, and we're both very active. So the province is just packed with healthy fruits and vegetables, and everything is easy to get for me where I live. So it's amazing. I wouldn't want to move out to the city where then they're having to import and bring in the fruit and vegetables, and then the price on them goes up. So that's not something I enjoy. Like I said, for a couple days it's good, but again, if I have friends, for example, that are from Boston or New York or Chicago, and they never liked leaving the city. I mean, they wanted to be in New York forever, and they didn't see any reason to leave, or Boston for that matter, or Chicago. So I wouldn't say to them they could probably move out here and enjoy living in the province. They might not like that, because you have to travel for a lot of your purchases that you can't get in the province, which is quite a few of. I mean, even if you want to go buy a pair of sneakers, unless you want your replicas, you got to go to the mall, right? Because you're not going to find them at a Nike place anywhere near me, or Adidas or Puma, or Asics or New Balance. It doesn't matter what kind of shoe you want. You're not finding any of those little places anywhere near where I live. But for me, I enjoy this because, like I said, I'm from Maine, so it's a very similar atmosphere. Granted, it's Asian Filipino atmosphere, but I took Maine and found a place very similar where it's warmer all year. I don't have 4 feet of snow. It's a quarter of the price, or less than that. Beautiful mountain green view, ocean view, little tropical islands. I love that. I wouldn't give this up for anything. But again, if you prefer the city lifestyle, for my friends that are going out to Olive Garden, TGIF, and Applebee's, and whatever kind of restaurant chains, you got to live in the city for those, right? If you're in the dating scene, probably easier to do that in the city because there's a wider variety. So there's a lot of perks for those people living that lifestyle, and that's what they enjoy. But I mean, for me, being active and healthy and being happily married, this just hands down makes sense. I mean, like I said, we enjoy coming here but we enjoy going to the city for a couple days, and then even by day 2, I'm ready to leave. And we'll enjoy staying somewhere nice. I'm always happy just to be here, so I'm not complaining. I'll wake up, this is a beautiful place. I still love the food. The people are still going to be friendlier than most Western countries. It's cheaper, so I'll still enjoy it. But for the most part, I'm waiting in traffic. I'm trying to find parking. I'll laugh at the prices because they've gone up 4 times compared to what I paid down the street from where I live. And yeah, I want to go back. So I mean, when we're in the city, I hate to say it, and I really don't want to be negative, because I'm a really happy person. living here. But we'll go to the city and I'll see foreigners and I'll give them a nod or a smile because I don't see them where I live, and they just keep walking. They just walk right by me. They don't care because they see foreigners. It really doesn't matter to them. They don't want to make small talk. They don't want to say hi, and I'll start to feel more like when I was in Boston or Chicago, and I don't like that. Where I live in the province, I've seen 3 foreigners in the last 8 months. One of them I know. The other one I knew he lived there, but I hadn't met him. But either way, we'll see a foreigner, and then it's like, oh my God, a tall person with a big nose, and they were both smiling. We're going over and making small talk, and it's really friendly, and they're happy. Or in the city, they just shrug you off. I mean, I thought I saw one of my friends in the city the other day, so I said, hey, how are you? And he just looked at me and said, can I help you with something? And I just really kind of threw me off because I'm like, no, I thought you were a friend that I knew. And he's like, I don't know you. And I'm like, okay, sorry. I mean, it's just a different atmosphere. But he was waiting in line to purchase something at a store. He was getting really frustrated. Then he was outside in his car and he couldn't get it out of the parking lot. And that's city, right? So if you live in a condo and you like dating girls and you're single and you want to go out drinking and stuff, then yeah, the province isn't going to be for you. I get that. But for me, coming from Maine, this is just, like I said, a very similar atmosphere, just 10 times better. I mean, I know it's hard to say similar, but because it's Filipino, I don't have any beautiful palm trees where I grew up, sadly, but this is just a more beautiful version of where I grew up to me, where it's even cheaper and everyone's even more friendly. And again, in the last week we hit a low of, was it 72 or 73 degrees? And we hit a high of 87. I really like that compared to Maine, where we would hit a low of negative 10 and hit a high of like 80. I mean, is the fall nice? Yeah, sure, but I'll deal with. So I tripped. I'll deal with just looking at these palm trees and beautiful people and wonderful atmosphere. I'll trade that in for the fall any day of the week. But back to the city versus province. I mean, like I said, it's just different people, completely different atmosphere. I mean, some things are going to be cheaper, like building material and electronics. You're going to want to go to the city for those things. So if you're building a house, we drove back and forth to the city so we could buy our material when we wanted to buy a TV. Not buying one anywhere near where I live. I'm telling you right now, it's 30 minutes for the closest place that has a couple TVs. You wouldn't want to buy any of them. So you end up wanting to go to the city. So there's plenty of reasons like that where the city is convenient, but that's why I love the Philippines so much, or one of the reasons out of like the 10,000 I found, where you can live in a province and get to a city within an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. So you can have the simple, peaceful, happy life that I live every day of my life. But then when we need something that we can't buy in the province, we get in our car and we're there we're there in the city in under 2 hours. So to me, that's a great compromise. If I wanted to go to the city multiple times a week, well, that's not going to make any sense, right? So I mean, I would want to live in the city, but for me, this is great. I couldn't possibly picture wanting to live in the city, but it's nice to visit. But again, everyone's different. So I mean, a lot of people prefer and like that atmosphere. So I don't know. This is just, to me, not something I can find or replace in the city. So anyways, I hope this helped. Thank you for everyone watching. I appreciate everyone that's given me a thumbs up or subscribed. It's been an amazing couple months living out here, and I absolutely love it. I've never smiled this much in my entire life because this is the atmosphere that I live in, and it just blows me away every time I leave my house or I have to go get a haircut or just put gas in my car or buy fruit. I'm smiling. And that never happened when I lived in the city because it would be a nightmare trying to do any of those things. So anyways, all right, thank you for watching.